I'm Connor Old, and welcome back to another episode of Old's Oscar Countdown. And here we are. Oscar nominations are just going to happen in a few minutes here. I'm going to be giving you my live reactions like I do every single year now. We've been talking about what's going to get nominated for 4 months, so I'm ready to finally see what's going to happen. I made my final prediction just a few days ago, and essentially in this video, I want to give you my live reactions, thoughts on some of the categories, unedited, and as well, probably near the end of the video, and then also at that kind of halfway point when they give us a break, going to give some instant analysis right away, what this means, what the snubs and surprises were, what we could have seen coming, and ultimately what this means maybe for certain movies' chances at winning Best Picture or certain categories. Always a lot of fun, and I hope you stick around. I'll make an edit here, and in a few minutes we're going to be reacting live. I think we should be starting with the Best Supporting Acting categories. If I have my order correct, I'm just looking at my notes to check things off. All right, here we go.
This next category, why don't you just kick it off, take the first one.
Okay. For performance by an actress in a supporting role.
Supporting actress, wow.
Elle Fanning.
Wow, big surprise. International.
Inga Eve's daughter, Lila.
So both of them from Sentimental Value.
Amy Madigan in
Amy Madigan, always nice to see.
Umi Masaki.
Whoa, Sinners gets in.
And Tiana Taylor.
So no Marty Supreme, Odessa Design. Looks like Elle Fanning kind of swapped in there. Very interesting to see. Still got 4 out of 5 there.
Hairstyling are
Oh, makeup and hair.
Frankenstein,
Frankenstein, yeah, got that.
Kokuo,
Oh, yeah, I predicted that.
Sinners,
Yeah?
The Smashing Machine,
What's the last one?
and The Ugly Stepsister.
Oh, wow, so both international films. Interesting. Went 5 for 5. Glad to go, cool.
Praise for achievement in music original score.
Original score.
Begonia.
Yeah, I predicted that. No one was predicting that. It was like Danked on Awards Expert. Begonia, Frankenstein. Hamnet.
One battle after another.
And?
And
All right, 5 for 5. Our first 5 for 5 in the night. That was a big get for us.
And now, here
Looking
are the
good.
nominees for Best Live Action Short Film.
Whoa, live action short.
Butcher's Stain,
Hey, I got that.
A Friend of Dorothy,
Oh, didn't miss that.
Jane Austen's period drama,
Oh, okay, I didn't get that.
The Singers,
The Singers, I did get that.
and Two People.
Okay, hey, you know what? For a shorts category, 3 out of 5, I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that.
Nominees are
Animated short, here we go.
Butterfly,
Don't have that.
Forever Green,
Don't have that.
The Girl Who Cried Pearls,
I do have that.
Retirement Plan, and The Three Sisters.
Okay. You know what? Hey, 2 out of 5, we'll take that. No Snow Bear, no Iru. That's surprising. Those are the Disney kind of cartoon film, nominated ones. Adapted screenplay. Wow.
Begonia, screenplay by Will Tracy.
Begonia looking strong. Looking strong.
Frankenstein, written for the screen by Guillermo
Yep.
del Toro. Hamnet,
Yep.
screenplay by Chloe Zhao and Maggie O'Farrell. One Battle
Yes,
After
and
Another
then-
by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, looks like Train
And
Dreams.
Train Dreams.
Okay,
screenplay
5 for
by
5. Not a great sign for No Other Choice. If you thought maybe it was going to get in for picture, but I went 5 for 5 on that one. Pretty expected to me.
Original screenplay.
Here we go. Original. This will be fun.
Blue Moon.
Oh, Blue Moon. Ah, man, I was so close to going with that one.
It was just an accident.
It was just an accident. Yep. That's a good sign for that film generally in terms of getting in for picture.
Rothstein, Mehdi Mahmoodian.
Should be Marty.
Marty Supreme,
Yeah.
written by Ronald Bronstein and Josh
I
Savage.
would imagine it's Sentimental and then Sinners.
Sentimental Value,
Yeah.
written by Eskil Foot, Joachim Trier.
Great script.
And Sinners.
Sinners showing up everywhere it needs to. So 4 out of 5. Went with Sorry Baby over Blue Moon, but not a great sign for something like The Secret Agent. Maybe even getting for something like Picture, or the overall strength of that film. Also hurts maybe like Weapons, getting in for Picture.
Nominees for performance by an actor in a supporting role.
Oh, actor supporting role. Here we go.
Benicio del Toro
Yep.
in One Battle After Another. Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein.
Yep.
Delroy.
Whoa, Delroy. Sinners is going to break the record at this point.
Penn, One Battle After Another.
And
Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value.
wow, so Paul Mescal was the person that kind of slipped out. Not a great sign for
That
Hamnet.
was so exciting.
But yeah, Sinners. Wow. Okay.
Time for our halftime break.
All right, so
Congratulations.
halftime break now. Let's break things down. So, just going through some of my initial reactions, we'll go through this kind of two supporting acting categories. Went 4 for 5 on both of them, which is okay, I guess. Lost on Odessa Design for Marty Supreme. Thought maybe she would get in, but it was the SAG 5, and then you just added in Elle Fanning, which was a bit of a surprise for me. I didn't think that she would be kind of the international pick. I thought that would be an Inga Ipsarelius, but clearly the Academy is liking so far Sentimental Value. You know, you have 3 acting nominations from that film already when it didn't get any at SAG. And then Delroy Lindo getting in for Sinners. That was a bit of a surprise just because, you know, he didn't get in at SAG. He didn't get in at the Golden Globes. He only got kind of shortlisted at BAFTA, so that was kind of their surprise on the night. Great actor, great performance, so it makes a lot of sense, even though they would go for the older actor on that side of things. And then I guess the surprise miss being Paul Mescal for Hamnet. He was maybe not the most passionate pick, and that was the reason why he ultimately went on the outside. Hamnet generally maybe hasn't done as well as you'd hope in this first half. You'd maybe want to hope Emily Watson, let's say, sneak in for Best Supporting Actress, and then of course you would want that Paul Mescal nomination that I thought was going to happen. So down on Hamnet. The shorts happened. I went 3 for 5, 2 out of 5, and I think 2 out of 5. So, you know, that's whatever it is. I'm not to worry about the shorts. Interesting also on the screenplay side of things. So got adapted screenplay 5 for 5. Original went 4 for 5. They went with Blue Moon. That's a good sign for something like Ethan Hawke's likely nomination for Best Lead Actor. Not a great sign right now for Best Picture. Score was very happy with. I think it's a strong sign of support for a movie like Begonia. You know, I mentioned it. You know, it was on 8th or 9th on awards. Expert or Gold Derby was even lower. Not a lot of people were predicting Begonia. Thankfully, we did. We've been pretty accurate in that category in recent years. I'm even predicting Wicked last year, so I was happy with that. So yeah, the crazy thing right now is Sinners, if we go through the tally, it looks like it's going to maybe potentially exceed total number of nominations by a single film. It would be a historic moment for Sinners. So they're really liking Sinners. Not the best sign, I think, right now for a movie like maybe The Secret Agent or Weapons. You'd want to get in for something like original screenplay to potentially, you know, contend for something like Best Picture. Will be fascinating to see what happens there. But yeah, let's cut to a break and we'll be right back. Okay, and they're back. Here we go. Best casting. It should be a very fun one. Here we go.
Hamnet.
Hamnet. All right, got that.
Marty Supreme.
Marty. Yep.
One Battle After
Okay, very nice.
The Secret Agent.
Oh, I predicted that. An international film.
Sinners.
All right, 5 for 5 in the new best casting category. No one knew what was going to happen. We did our research. We got 5 out of 5. Very happy with that. Costumes. Here we go.
Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Whoa, Avatar for costumes.
Frankenstein.
Yep, Frankenstein.
Hamnet.
Hamnet.
Marty Supreme.
Marty gets in. Okay.
And Sinners.
And Sinners. Went 3 for 5. No One Battle. No Wicked for Good. Not good for something like Wicked for Good.
Original song.
Original song. Here we go.
Dear Me from
Diane Warren. 9 years in a row. Let's give her the win. Golden is the likely winner.
I Lied to You from
I Lied to You. Another nomination for Sinners.
Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi.
Oh, wow. That wasn't even on my radar.
And from
And Train Dreams. Okay, you know what? 4 for 5. Totally happy with that. That one song, I don't even remember what that was, but I'll have to give it a listen to. Here we go. Best documentary.
The Alabama Solution.
Alabama Solution. Missed that one.
Come See Me in the Good Life.
Oh, so Come See Me gets in here, but then...
Cutting Through Rocks.
Oh, I'm doing poorly here.
Mr. Nobody Against
Wow.
and The Perfect Neighbor.
Jeez. Okay, I went 1 for 5 on that one. Surprising note, 2,000 Meters from Andreevka or Cover Up. Big surprising category there. Documentary short. Here we go.
All the Empty Rooms.
Got that one. Yep.
Armed Only with a Camera.
Armed Only. Yep.
Of Brent Renault.
Okay, so doing my own shorts.
Children No More Were and Are Gone.
Okay, missed that one.
The Devil is Busy.
Oh, okay, I got that.
And Perfectly a Strangeness.
Okay, so that was the weird one that I left out, but 3 for 5. Okay, you know, not gonna beat myself up over the short categories.
Czar.
International feature. Here we go.
The Secret Agent. Brazil.
Yep,
It Was Just an Accident. France.
as expected for both those films.
Sentimental Value.
As expected.
Sirat. Spain.
And
And the voice of
Wow, so no other choice blanks. I predicted that. I wasn't expecting it to happen, but I did predict it and went 5 for 5 there. Here we go, best animated film.
Arco,
Arco, yep, I went with that.
Elio,
Yep, Pixar remains undefeated.
K-pop Demon Hunters,
K-pop, yep.
Little Amelie,
And then it's going to be Zootopia 2, isn't it?
and Zootopia 2.
Of course. All right, 5 for 5. Easy one, but I predicted that back in December of that 5, so felt good about that.
Design.
Production design, here we go.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's cleaning up, as is Sinners.
Hamnet.
Hamnet.
Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme.
One battle after another.
Oh, one battle gets in here.
And Sinners.
And Sinners. So still like a 4 for 5 overlap, I think it was. I went one battle on costumes, they win production design. No Wicked here, so
F1,
F1 gets in for editing.
Supreme,
Marty, yep.
One Battle After Another,
One battle.
Sentimental Value,
Whoa!
and Sinners.
You know, that's a strong sign that Sentimental Value is a stronger film than both Hamnet and Frankenstein. This is a big blow to Hamnet's chances. Big surprise. Sound, here we go.
One.
F1 gets in. Could F1 get in for picture now?
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
One battle after another.
One battle, yep.
Sinners.
And?
Siraj.
Oh, right, Surratt. Went 5 for 5 there. Felt good about that pick. That's a fun, inspired pick.
Effects nominees.
Visual effects, here we go.
Avatar, Fire.
Gotta get
and
Avatar. So, wasn't a sole nominee.
F1,
F1 going on a little bit of a streak here.
Jurassic World Rebirth,
Whoa, the first Jurassic movie.
Lost Bus,
Lost Bus.
and Sinners.
And Sinner, no Superman. Wow, Wicked is Wicked gonna blank? Is that what's gonna happen right here? Holy, that's a big surprise.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. All right, cinematography.
Marty Supreme.
Yes, got that one. Kanji,
One
legend.
battle after another.
One battle. Yep.
Sinners.
And then,
And Train.
all right, another 5 for 5. Great lineup. I really like that lineup. Really glad for Train Dreams getting in there.
Performance by an actor.
Here we go. Best actor, big one.
The nominees are Timothy Chalamet and Marty Supreme.
Chalamet, maybe the winner.
Leonardo DiCaprio and
One battle after another. Oh no. Oh,
Ethan Hawke
okay.
and Blue Moon.
Blue Moon.
Michael B. Jordan
Michael B. Jordan, Sinners.
and Wagner Moura.
All right, so yeah, they went shock. I tried to be a little bit of a surprise. Went with Plemons and Begonia. They ultimately go with Michael B. Wagner Moore did get in though.
The nominees are
Actress, here we go.
Jesse Buckley in Hamnet.
Yep, the likely winner again.
Rose Byrne in If
Great to see her get nominated. Was always nervous, but
Kate Hudson in
Kate Hudson gets in. Wow.
Renata Reinsva in
Ren Ronsva and
and Emma Stone in Begonia.
Emma Stone Begonia. No Chase Infinity. You know that. So that's a blow to one battle where it's performing everywhere else. And here we go, directing.
Chloe Zhao Hamnet.
Zhao for Hamnet. Strong still.
Josh Safdie. Marty
Safdie for Marty. I got that.
Paul Thomas Anderson. One battle after another.
Got that as well.
Joaquin
Sentimental Value. And then it has to be Kugler for Sinners, right?
and Ryan Coogler.
Yeah. So 5 for 5. And does Sinners mean it's breaking the nomination total? If we tally that up correct, that's crazy. Definite overperformance of Sinners. Hamlet's kind of all over the place on the one battle, doing pretty much everywhere it needs to do. And then here we go, Best Picture.
Begonia.
Yep.
Angie and Andrew Lowe.
Got that one.
Yorgos Lanthimos, Emma Stone, and Lars Knudsen, producers.
F1. Chad
Wow. F1 gets in for Best Picture. Wow. Very more American this year. More American than maybe expected.
Producers.
Frankenstein. Guillermo
Frankenstein.
del
So
Toro.
what's going to miss? It was just an accident it's going to miss. It didn't get in for director, just got screenplay.
Hamnet. Liza Marshall.
Yeah.
Rupert Harris. Nicholas Gonda. Steven Spielberg and Sam Mendes. Producers.
Marty Supreme.
Marty, yep.
Ronald Bronstein. Josh Safdie. Anthony Tutagis.
So it was just an accident missed. Wow. Okay. So, and, you know, I'm looking at the nominations, not a huge surprise, but what a fall from that movie. One battle, the potential, front runner to win Best Picture. People are going to talk about Sinners, though. Sinners is a real contender.
Secret Agent.
Secret Agent ultimately does get in, so that's the kind of international pick. It's clearly the stronger film than it was just an accident at this point. Sentimental Value, yeah, absolutely. And then we should be right everywhere else. Sinners, yep. And it should just be Train Dreams and that's it. But F1 was a bit of a surprise.
And Train Dreams.
Yeah. All right. So 9 out of 10 on Best Picture. Once again, don't hate that entirely. But those are the Oscar nominations. We'll mute these guys. Crazy to see all the nominees. Congratulations once again to everyone nominated. Give me a second. I just want to tally up Sinners and One Bell After Another's nominations to see. I think Sinners actually did beat the record. Most nominations by a film. That's a crazy stat. Up there with movies like La La Land and All About Eve. So let's talk about each and every category. The surprises, where I got wrong, where I was right, and kind of go through all things just now. Okay, did my tally crazy? The first thing we have to talk about is Sinners. Crazy overperformance. We knew it was going to do good. I think I predicted it for 13 or 14 nominations. Not only did it pass 14 nominations, they got a total of 16 nominations, the most by any single film of all time in Oscar history. If you look at the stats of the films that got the most amount of nominations, they don't always win Best Picture, but naturally, if you get the most nominations, likely you are going to win Best Picture because you have the most support from all these different branches. La La Land was a big upset in 2016, so it can happen, but the fact that Sinners not only reached 14, but actually blew past it is a huge sign of support for that film, and I think we have a race now. I think that clearly the Oscars really like Sinners and are going to rally behind it, and maybe it wins Best Picture, maybe it loses out on something like Best Director, but who knows? And even something like the Best Supporting Actress race, could it be a Wunmi Mosaku, or at this point, it's still, I think, up in the air in terms of who's going to win. Very, very fascinating. That's kind of the big takeaway for me. Sinners definitely overperformed even, I think, everyone's expectations, including myself. And to tell me back in, April, that movie would go on to get 16 nominations would definitely be a surprise. One Bell After Another still did very strong as well, though 13 nominations, really high up there, but did disappoint in maybe a couple of places, I guess. Doesn't get in for costume design, but does get in for production design. Misses out, I guess, with the big one there being Chase Infinity, which was somewhat expected. I thought was notable was that Sentimental Value, I think, is a stronger film than I thought. Hamlet had this weird, tally where, it doesn't get in for something like Emily Watson for supporting actress. Not a lot of people were predicting that, but then it gets snubbed, genuinely snubbed, for Paul Mescal and Hamlet. But then, Chloe Zhao gets in for director. But then it misses out on something like Best Editing, which is kind of a mini Best Picture race. So I guess thinking right now, it would probably be, we'll still say One Bell After Another first, Sinner second. Usually I had kind of Hamlet second or third. I may have put Sentimental Value there at third. That was the clear supported film, whether it be the surprise kind of a nomination for Elle Fanning or Joaquin getting in for a director, which I predicted, or even something like editing. I thought getting in for editing is a notable fact because does Sentimental Value have really flashy editing compared to Hamlet? No, but what we learned from that category is that it's a strong one in terms of predicting the Oscars. And so the fact that Hamlet didn't get in here, if you predict it for Best Picture, it would kind of go against a lot of stats that we've seen that almost every Best Picture winner also gets nominated for Best Editing. Marty Supreme had a weird kind of tally as well, misses out on something like Odessa Zion, but still picks up all the technical awards of cinematography, production design, costume design, gets in for director for Safdie, which I predicted. And then some of the kind of snubs, I guess you would say, would be, first off, it was just an accident. This was a movie that was kind of like a guaranteed international film winner, director, screenplay, picture, kind of a haul. It reminded me of Sing Sing last year where, we just thought so much of it, and then throughout the season they kept on telling us they didn't love the movie as much as many people had thought. I know a lot of people are still including Jafar Panahi in their directing predictions. I did not. He misses director. He only gets in for screenplay. That wasn't enough, an international film, but that wasn't enough to ultimately push it to the edge of something like Best Picture. Instead, they go with F1. That was another big surprise. So it was a little bit more American, I think, this year than expected, just in terms of the F1 and Begonia still doing strong, and even something like Sinners, a very American film, getting 16 nominations. And then in the heat of everything, I totally missed as well. Wicked not getting any nominations. I had it only in for costume design, production design, and VFX. But it misses makeup, and it misses Ariana Grande, which I didn't even mention in the first half of the video. That's a crazy year to year difference, where it really does matter the quality of the film and how much people enjoy it. And clearly this Wicked sequel wasn't resonating at all to go from that many nominations and that many wins to no nominations this year. Big surprise. So I ultimately ended up doing 79%, 99 out of 125, if my tally is correct. Overall, happy with that performance. We'll have to see how it stacks up on other years and past years. Just going through the categories here. Supporting actor, Delroy Lindo, we mentioned. Big surprise, good for him. Legendary actor. A supporting actress here, Elle Fanning gets in. Clearly a strong sign for sentimental value over even a film like Marty Supreme. But I don't think either of them are going to win Best Picture. If anything, this tells me that Stellan Skarsgård is probably the front runner to win for Best Supporting Actor. The shorts I don't want to talk about. Costume design, I thought this was interesting that Avatar gets in for here. Knocking out a movie like Wicked for Good, which makes sense, but I think there was just maybe not a lot of other contenders. Marty Supreme gets in here as well. It bucks a lot of trends for that category, so we may have to look at that category. Best makeup and hairstyling, I ended up going 4 for 5, which I was happy with that because there were a couple of surprises. The 2 international makeup films there with Coco and The Ugly Stepsister. Didn't predict ugly, but did go with Coco. So happy with ultimately my total there. Original score, very happy with this category. It was one that I struggled a lot with and ended up going with Begonia because it made the most sense. And I was correct. I ended up going 5 for 5 there. So felt good. Adapted screenplay, same thing here. No surprises. No other choice. Once again, gets snubbed in director, picture, screenplay, and also international film. For some reason, they just aren't a fan of Park Chan-wook's films. Went 5 for 5, but no real surprises there. Original screenplay, no real surprises here either. I knew that final spot was a surprise in terms of I didn't know where it was going to go. Interesting to see in hindsight that Secret Agent misses out on something like Best Original Screenplay, but still gets in for picture. It's a very similar path of something like I'm Still Here. I think the exact same path in international film, Wagner Moura, lead actor, and then picture. So notable that you don't need a screenplay nomination to still get in for picture. Even in a weaker kind of 5th spot, they went with Blue Moon. Very righty film, writerly focused film, so it makes sense there. Golden went 4 for 5. Interesting that they went with Come See Me in the Good Light, the documentary, but not the song. Instead, they went with the Viva Verde song, which I had no idea it was even on my radar. I didn't even think of it as a nomination, so that was the big surprise of the night. Documentary, I have this model that I was hyping up that was very accurate last year. Completely inaccurate this year. I went 1 for 5. I think a lot of people ended up not doing too well, because something like 2,000 meters to Andriivka, that was a popular pick. I'd say Cover Up was a popular pick. They went with a bunch of Mr. Nobody Against Putin and Cutting Through the Rocks. They're always a weird category to predict. They're always super difficult, but going 1 for 5. Yikes, bad on my part. Another short here. Visual effects. Fascinating to see that for some reason, I believe all the Jurassic World movies have made the shortlist for visual effects at the Oscars, but none of them have ended up gotten in. This one gets in for some reason. And then Sinners ultimately gets in for visual effects. That was key to its kind of 16 total nomination. I guess I was happy that The Lost Bus I predicted to get in, and it got in. Although Superman, I thought that was kind of a lock, and it didn't. Cinematography felt good for that 5 for 5. Nothing too surprising, but still notable that someone like a Train Dreams and Adolfo Veloso was able to get in. Definitely helped from that film overperforming in recent weeks. Actor, I tried to go with surprise and go with Jesse Plemons. Was wrong about that. It was Michael B. Jordan. Was the kind of standard 5. Best actress was the category that I think they wanted to put a surprise in. Now that I'm thinking it, I got 4 for 5 on every single acting category, and the one category that I felt like I made a surprise in, I went best actor, and that was the one category that they went chalk with. But that's what happens. But Kate Hudson gets in here for someone like a Chase Infinity for one battle after another. Nothing too surprising. She was the 6th contender. Ultimately wanted to go with Chase because I believed in the strength of her film, but clearly Kate Hudson connected with a lot of people here. But similar to what my thinking was, I think for all these categories, it was the 4 out of 5 SAG and then one other person that got in. The question was always, who is that other person? Whether it be an Elle Fanning or a Delroy Lindo, who was that other person? I ended up just picking wrong a couple of times, except for Best Actor, I guess. But then I knocked out Michael B. Jordan. Best Director, was happy with this one though. Went 5 for 5. Another category that people were overthinking, I think, and maybe worried too much about the international factor. There was an international factor. It was the person who won the European Film Awards, which was Joachim Trier, and then it was a bunch of Americans, which is something that we definitely saw and ended up happening. So happy with that lineup there. But yeah, once again, weird that someone like a Chloe Zhao will get in for something like Best Director, but then miss out for something like Hamnet. So what's the strength of that film overall? International film went 5 for 5. We mentioned No Other Choice missing. Animated film 5 for 5. No surprises. Original Pixar stays strong. K-pop's winning that category. Production design went 4 for 5. One battle after another was a surprise. I don't remember seeing it in too many precursors. So I went with Wicked for Good, but I would have not been shocked if it was something else. So a little bit of a surprise there. Editing, the main reason I didn't predict a movie like F1 was because I didn't have it in for my picture rankings, and I mentioned that only 8% of the time over the past 10 years, a movie gets nominated for Best Editing and not Best Picture. Well, that's still the case. I was just wrong in that I didn't have F1 for editing, and I didn't have it in for Best Picture, and they got in for both. So in a way, I'm still right though. 5 out of 5 nominees were nominated for Best Picture. That stat still holds. Now it's even less. It's probably like 6% of the time over the past 10 years. And then Sentimental Value getting nominated here. Clearly a stronger movie, I think, than Hamlet, than Frankenstein. I always thought Sentimental Value would be well appreciated by this guild. In this branch, the Academy, and I was right, although some inconsistencies where it gets in for something like Best Editing, but not something like Best Casting. So how much do they love the movie? Best Sound went 5 for 5. That was a fun pick with Surat. Wasn't sure about that, but it getting in there and not in a category like Score, I felt makes sense, and I was correct about that kind of analysis. Best Casting, I was also happy for a very new first category to go 5 for 5. We didn't know what this was going to be. I thought maybe there would be a surprise with something like a Weapons, but ultimately I was correct with going with The Secret Agent. The international pick indicates to me that this is a similar category to something like Best Casting at BAFTA. We'll be interested to see what the BAFTA nominations come out, what that tells us there. And then the big one, Best Picture. I'm still going 9 for 10. Felt good about that, and that's still a really strong lineup there. Went a little bit more American, right? They went with, it was F1 over, it was just an accident. So as much as we go, the Academy's so international, let's not forget that the international branch still only has a couple of spots within the Academy, right? They'll get a Secret Agent in, or Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, or a general fund support there, but they don't have that broad support where people thought maybe there's 4 nominations from international films. That wasn't the case. They're still very American, and you can see that going with a movie like F1, which is a big blockbuster hit that has pretty good reviews, not great reviews, but clearly has the support of maybe the below-the-line members of the Academy, and a great film and a movie I like quite a bit. So really exciting, nominations here. Definitely some surprises. Definitely going to be fascinating to break down all of this. We won't be going anywhere. On Monday, I'm going to be back with a video of my 5 guaranteed winners category, where I'm going to talk about 5 categories that you don't need to worry about, that are going to be, definitely going to happen, and then talk about maybe some potential surprises, talk about SAG reactions on DGA and PGA when we get those winners, and see ultimately what's going to win Best Picture. So now we're transitioning away from the nominations, what's going to get nominated, and now what's going to win. I think it's Sinners, or just one battle after another. I really do think it is a race at this point. Particularly, I think Sinners is probably the front runner to win for Best Ensemble at SAG. So if it wins there, and maybe a surprise is at PGA, now what are you going to do? And maybe it's a split between Paul Thomas Anderson wins for director, but Sinners ultimately wins for picture. 16 nominations is nothing to kind of disregard, I guess. It is a major nomination tally, and makes it a major contender. So we've got a race on our hands that excites me, and we're going to be breaking it down on this channel each and every week up until the Oscars. So that's about it. And of course, if you want to hear all of that content, make sure you stay tuned. All right, see you next time.